All right, please remain standing and join me with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of our community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that affect our community. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Russo. Here. Commissioner Dupnick,
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. We've got a full court. At this time, we'll hear from citizens to be heard. First up, we got Christy Rutledge.
Good morning, Commissioners. Christy Rutledge, 1411 Dana Drive. And on the citizens to be heard portion, I just would like to ask if you would investigate the proximity of the fires last week to the Copano Red beds so that we know where they were and if they were on that property at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to speak on number 20 as well? Or
Will you allow me to do that now?
yeah,
Okay,
or no, unless you want to wait till that.
I'd like to do it now.
Okay.
And then I'll hop on Zoom so that if y'all have any questions, when that comes up, you can ask me. I think there may be someone else to speak on that, may want to speak later. So I gave you a handout. And this is just a rough sheet. It's not exact numbers, and it's called Opportunities for the 2024 Budget Adjustments and Cuts Necessary to Reduce Your $4.2 million increased tax levy and eliminate the 5-cent tax increment. First of all, I want to thank you for adding this agenda item today and giving citizens an opportunity to weigh in. I want to thank your county staff for promptly getting the budget towards me, and I spent a lot of time looking over it. So I come here in a spirit of not pointing out anything individual, because it's not personal. I think sometimes government does things because that's the way government's always done things. And so I have a different viewpoint, and mine is from the taxpayer viewpoint. And for me, all of those budget line items, they equal a tax. They equal a tax on the citizen. So when they're unspent at the end of the year, and they just fall off into wherever, and then they get added next year, well, I'm getting taxed twice in 2 years for the same thing that wasn't spent last year. So I just want to go through this with you really quickly. And these are my recommendations. I made the chart as an illustration. It's not exact numbers to show you how you could actually reduce that 5-cent increment. And the first and foremost thing is if you have a budget crisis, you just don't give raises. And you also make sure that you include all of your revenues. So there's a sales tax variance here in the budget of $43,000. That doesn't make sense because your venue tax is up 17%. So eliminate that. No salary increases until you get your budget under control. They deserve it, but it may not be possible this year. Adjust all departments to eliminate increases in spending with few exceptions. I know there's a new position and that probably needs to be filled. But is it going to be filled on October 1st? Is someone going to be hired and relocated here to fill that position? I don't know. Update your ad valorem tax revenues. I know the city did that and they gained $500,000. So I think you can too. That's 2 cents on your increment. When I looked at the budget, particularly by department and by line items, I did some analysis and I'm not picking on anyone. So there's some attachments in your IT, and I think your IT does a great job. I just want to show you on the next page, I highlighted them and I put in red my notes where unspent line items can be reduced. There's around $150,000 in other line items that really just haven't been spent over the last few years, and they're not being spent this year. So those could be eliminated. And then you have quite a bit of capital, and you also have some reserved in another capital, so that's 2 pages here, shows you the opportunities to take a look at that budget. I remembered that IT was purchasing equipment this year for the courthouse. So please don't tax me again for it next year. If it hasn't been purchased, then go ahead and purchase it this year because you have it in the 23 budget, and don't add that amount to next year's budget. Same thing with the sheriff department. There's quite a number of unspent line items, and I just put a draft number in here. You all get to decide. You get to decide what to do with this information. Travel and meals, that's the third. If you look, I went and did an analysis of all of the departments on travel and meals and on conferences and dues. And those are just the only 2. And I pulled them out for you. I added some columns to give you more information. The percentage year-to-date actuals versus budget is the column you really need to look at. And it shows you where you can eliminate anything under 50%. And then it shows you the amount you can eliminate. That particular line item was increased. It can be decreased 56%. And for some reason, some of the departments didn't spend their money and they're increasing it this year. It's not a lot, but it adds up. And that's a pretty good amount. And that's also taxation. Same with association dues. These are things that aren't necessary. But you do have things that are necessary that you have to absorb. Okay, other ideas. I don't think that you're actually using your funds as much as you could, specifically hot fund and your venue fund. So I want you to look at allocating some of those. Am I up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've got that here and I've got information about hot, and I want to leave that here because you can do admin. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Jeff Hutt, would you like to speak now or speak at the time? All right.
Jeff Hutt,
Your address?
2201 Prairie Road. You know, this is like really bad budgeting. You guys, the budget is going up 25%. And I mean, it's not like Judge Garza came into office and he's getting a brand new office with a 670 square foot private patio. But we got here and it was like the last years, it was budgeting and it was yes votes on budgets. And there's people up here who are responsible for this budget. And I would appreciate for this year, if the commissioners court, the commissioners took 0 salary. All of you guys are over 65. Your taxes are frozen. There's been tax increases in the last years that'll affect us. I just turned 50. Affect us for years to come. I mean, this courthouse is going to be more and more money each year. It wasn't a single item in that we're done with it. We'll be paying for it. And this is decisions. But when you have to raise your budget 25%, I mean, there's obviously something wrong and people need to take responsibility. And I'd like this commissioner's court, like I said, the commissioners to forego their salary for this year, showing the citizens of Aransas County that they take responsibility. And I'm sorry, Mr. Dubnik, Commissioner Dubnik, I know you weren't around, but I'm clumping you in with the rest of them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move on to. We have 0 presentations. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, and I want to acknowledge some donations. We've got value of services donated from Another Chance, Aransas County for the month of July. Total value donated is $4,288. That includes 177 in cremations, 400 in disposable bags, food, leashes, dog supplies, and 3,711 in medical, heartworm, vaccine, spay, neuter. We also got a donation of $15 from Helen Wing of Aransas County to Aransas County Animal Care Services. We've got a donation of $300 from Robert and Susan Keller for the spay neuter program. And we've got a $202 donation from Salty Dog Pet Resort for the spay neuter program. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. And we will move on to item number 7.
Move to approve order number 0-16-2023 in order to close, abandon and vacate the 0.168 acres of land out of the westerly portion of the end of public right-of-way section of Rattlesnake Point Road, and being the portion south of and adjacent to Redfish Shores, HUD, Aransas County, Texas, recorded in volume 4, page 277 of the plat records of Aransas County, Texas, and being more particularly by meets and bounds on Exhibit A attached to the petition.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. We got Ms. Camo here representing Road and Bridge.
Good morning.
Good morning. So my question is, I tried to find this on the computer and was not successful. And the reason for the request is to redevelop Redfish Shores PUD. Could you just visit with us about what Redfish Shores PUD does and where it's located? Because the gentleman who is petitioning, I believe his property is not near this place, at least from what I could find on Google and the appraisal district map.
So the petitioner is Mr. Bradley Blanton, and he is one of the representatives for this development. It is at the end, it's the old Redfish Lodge.
Okay,
There is a portion of Rattlesnake Point Road that extends past a gate, and that's what this petition is for. This is just for the portion of Rattlesnake Point Road that would go beyond that gate onto private property. And it would just allow them to do the maintenance for that portion of the road.
It starts right there by the kayak ramp,
Mhm.
and it goes whatever the length of it is.
past that new like 1100 development that's out there on Rattlesnake Point.
Now, if you
Around the
go,
curve.
yeah, if you go around the curve and the road ends at the kayak ramp. Well, the existing right of way, and once you go down, they own both sides of the road. And so once you go through where we let them put that gate, it's the length of this right here, and they own both sides of the road.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, is this just, that would be west of the NAV district's property? Is that where we're
It's
talking
our
about?
property, not the NAV district.
It's our property. Okay,
West of that gate.
okay.
All right, any further questions? All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 5-0. Move on to item number 8.
Move to approve order number 0-17-2023 in order to close and abandon, vacate a 16-foot wide alleyway lying in block 24, the block bounded by Stewart Street on the west, Trailer Avenue on the west, Elizabeth
On the
Street,
east.
a Paper Street on the north, and Laurel Street to the south. Bellevue Edition, Aransas County, Texas, recorded volume 1, page 12 of the plat records of Aransas County, and being more particularly described by meets and bounds of Exhibit A attached to the petition.
Commissioner, did you mean,
I could have.
yeah. Trailer Avenue to the east? Said to the west?
Trailer Avenue to the east.
Yes. I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
Judge,
Yes.
just had a question. I guess, I don't know, we need it for clarification of records. But on this one and the one previously, they both have the same location identifications being Bellevue Edition. That's not correct, right?
No, sir, the first one should be Redfish Shores as the identifying subdivision.
That does that need to be done legally or corrected?
As long as the agenda item is written correctly, if the memo is misworded, then we should,
Yeah,
then Then we are
agenda
good.
item appears to be correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And did the petitioners all sign? Because usually we get a copy of that document where they've all signed that they approve it.
Yes, ma'am. I will make sure that y'all get that.
Okay, well, as long as they did, that's fine. It's just usually included in the packet. Thank you.
So does that does the property line go in the middle? And, okay,
Yes, sir. The alley gets divided into 8 feet on either side and it gets assigned to the adjoining property owners.
okay,
Here's
all right.
a drawing of it. It splits down the middle and
Oh,
goes.
okay. All right, no further questions. Let's go ahead and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Sorry, Commissioner, Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 9.
I move to approve change order number 2 to the construction contract between Aransas County and U Stout Excavating Group Texas LLC for the Rattlesnake Point Road project funded by General Land Office Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, contract number 20-065-098-C270 to increase the scope to include additional pavement and associated work, and to increase the compensation due by $216,991.75.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Mr. Reed, morning.
So this change order is to use up some of the money of the grant that we were under. These are some additions that we felt would be a good thing to do on this project. So it's still paid for by the grant.
By the GLO.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. You have any questions? All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 5-0. Item number 10.
I move to approve amendment number 1 to the consulting agreement between the Grant Connection and Aransas County dated May 28th, with correction, May 26, 2020. For administration services for the Bay Shore Drive project to extend the term of the agreement from May of 2023 to December 31st, 2024. And to increase the compensation by $70,695.81 for additional services for a total of $170,695.81, which 100,000 of the contract shall be funded through the Restore Act. Subrecipient reimbursement contract number 582-21-22184 with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for the Bay Shore Erosion Mitigation Project, and the remainder funded with public funds.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Mr. Strockman.
Morning.
Commissioners, you'll see that this was the same item we approved last time.
Right.
The only difference is that we have corrected the language a little bit to add that not the entire portion of this will be funded through the grant, that there is a portion, the $70,695.81, that will have to be funded in a different way. And also the attachment on the agenda the last time had an incorrect month written in the term, or pardon me, the expiration of the contract. So it will expire in December of 2024.
Do we need to make an adjustment in the motion to show that this is a correction?
No, no, we didn't execute after the first approval last time because we caught that we needed to change the attachment for the court's review. So this is just redoing it essentially. The other vote will have no effect. And this will be the vote that we rely upon for execution.
And the explanation of the public funds for the $70,695.81. I visited with Mr. Strockman, and that will be possibly the county with the city reimbursing us.
Correct. Correct.
Thank you.
All right, no further questions. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 11.
I move to approve authorizing county judge to sign the engagement letter with Bell Harris Bekachik LLP for outside auditing services for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second.
I just
Board.
have a question about this. And I think the firm did a very good job for the first time with the audit we just received last week, but did we solicit any other firms for this contract?
When we went out for RFPs last year, we did it with a contract that we had the opportunity to extend for 4 one-year increments. So
Great,
no, we
thank
did
you.
not.
And just for the record, they were the lowest bid this go around,
Yes, sir, they were.
but it was still twice as much as we previously paid.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just the nature of the beast.
All right. Just want to get that out there because added cost. All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 12.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement between the Aransas County and Coastal Bend Council of Governments for the E911 Public Safety Answering Point Service for the period of September 21st of 2023 to August 31st of 2025.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? And this is mine. And this is oh, I'm sorry.
No, I have questions. I was getting ready to ask the sheriff. Go ahead.
So this is our portion of the Coastal Bend Council of Governments for the 911 answering service. Yeah, question.
Yes.
Mm.
So the equipment that is listed towards the back of this document has been provided by the COG or the RPC, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, do we have any other service that we use for 911 calls besides this?
We do actually have a contract with the city of Rockport for 911 communications. This contract really is focused on the equipment that's been provided through the COG.
Okay,
And isn't this done by, actually by a grant that I guess the COG gets? I believe it is, and they do them,
I
they do
think
them for all the
Yeah, I think it is.
local counties or adjoining counties.
okay, and then on page 14, you talk about education related to 911 and or call taking, presentations to the public, posting on social media, distributables and materials. Do they or do we do that? Who's responsible for that?
Again, this would be a communications center, Lee Zapata, and heads that up. Now, we distribute some material that we get through vendors that do our calendar activity pertaining to 911, but the routing of the calls and the stuff in the budget request, like I said, is a communications center request from Zapata.
Is that Lee Brown?
Correct. I'm sorry, it's Brown.
Thank you.
Doing vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes. Item number 13.
I move to approve entering into a license and services agreement with Tyler Technologies, Inc. for jury management software with one-time implementation costs of $60,690 and a license fee of $47,110, as well as annual recurring maintenance and support costs, which are $14,133 and $12,100 respectively for the first year, which first year will be funded with a grant through the American Rescue Plan Act.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? And we finally got a contract. Any
Ms.
questions?
Hurd is in court.
Pardon? Oh, you said Ms. Hurd is in court?
Yes, ma'am. She's in district court.
If you have any questions, though, I'd be happy to try to help answer them, and Colin's here too.
Well, I know Commissioner Casterline and I and members of the auditing department and Colin and Pam Hurd and at least one of her deputies were on a conference call with Williamson County to ask how it had worked for them, and it was a stunning, very positive response. So we're hopeful this is going to reduce the costs of calling the first day of jurors.
I want to just say for the commissioners court's benefit that working with Tyler Technologies on making some changes and answering questions with regard to this contract was very smooth, and I appreciated very much their willingness to answer those questions that I had and meet with us at our convenience.
I'm glad to hear that. That backs up what Williamson County told us.
I have a question on the $47,110 and the $14,133. That reads as if that's an annual requirement. Or both funds annual, or is the license fee one time?
The license fee, the $47,110 is one time only. The support cost, it's $14,133 for the first year. And then the second amount, which is actually for the first year, only $8,100. And then on will be a bit increased because the first year is a little lower on that maintenance cost. I don't think you need to amend your motion necessarily, because that will be what we expect the cost to be moving forward more than likely. But this is pretty normal for us to have an upfront cost that's quite a bit higher than what we expect our annual maintenance to be. We're hopeful that it will be $30,000 or less moving forward per year.
And we are getting this to make the jury selection process more efficient.
It will do a lot of things that we can't currently do. It will send text messages and email notifications and make it easier for jurors to get online and fill out paperwork instead of having to come in person or mail in a response.
In discussion with Pam Hurd last Friday, she wanted to clarify that that's really what it would allow those that are summoned to do is go online, fill out their form there and claim their exemption and not have to come in here and turn it in. It will not reduce the size of the panel for voir dire or anything else. We'll still have 100 or 110 people for that. But this will allow people not to have to come turn the form in personally.
Thank you.
But in our call with Williamson County, one of the things that they said is that I don't think we do now is they have the ability to go in and mark the list in there of people that are either dead or any number of reasons that now we currently send people who are no longer living on a jury request, and they will at least be able to go in there and purge some of those things out. I don't know why we have been doing it, but that was something that they brought up.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 14.
I move to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement for tax assessment and collection of property tax in 2023-2024 between Aransas County, Texas and the town of Fulton, Texas.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Miss Marshall, good morning.
This is just an annual thing that I have to do every year is contracts between me and the entities for collection of property taxes. Once we go through commissioner's court, then they're sent over to the entities to go to their meetings for approval and then come back. And it's basically just allowing the judge to be able to sign them when they're returned.
I just have one question, Ann. On the page 2 of this document, under duties of the county tax assessor and collector, and this might be a typo or it might be accurate.
On the Fulton one?
No, on this one we're talking about right now. Yeah, town of Fulton, sorry.
Okay.
So under 7B, when it talks about submitting a monthly status report to the town, okay, that's Town of Fulton. And then it says prior to the monthly school board meeting, should that be the town council? Or should it be the school board?
No, it should not be the school board. I didn't catch that one when I got it back for proofreading.
Okay, I didn't know if maybe the school board trumped everything.
No, it is for the town council and we can make a correction to that before it's sent out to the town of Fulton.
Okay, and the city of Rockport says the same thing
Okay, yeah,
about a monthly school board meeting.
yeah, those can be corrected, because
Okay.
like I said, they haven't been sent to the entities yet, and thank you for catching that for
Sure.
us.
All right, thank you. Let's go and vote on this.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 15.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement for the tax assessment and collection of property taxes in 2023 and 2024 between Aransas County, Texas and the Aransas County Navigation District.
You skipped one.
It's the city of Rockport.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You read
Yeah.
16.
Let me read that over again. I move to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement for tax assessment and collection of property taxes for 2023 and 2024 between Aransas County, Texas and the city of Rockport, Texas.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Any questions? All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 5-0. Item number 16.
I move to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement for tax assessment and collection of property tax in 2023, 2024 between Aransas County, Texas and the Aransas County Navigation District.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Any questions for Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cheney,
I move. Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 17.
I move to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement for tax assessment and collections for property tax in 2023 and 2024 between Aransas County, Texas and the Rockport Fulton Independent School District.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Any questions for Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 18.
I move to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement for tax assessment and collection of property tax in 2023 to 2024 between Aransas County, Texas and Municipal Utility District Number 1.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Any questions? All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 5-0. Item number 19.
Move to approve a proposal to publish delinquent taxpayers' names with Linebarger, Gogan, Blair and Sampson.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? We have representatives from Lineberger.
And we got a lot of them there. It's a shame not to let some of them talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the lineup.
You're friends of Aransas County and we appreciate what you do. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much to all of you.
Morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Tax Assessor Collector, for coming with us today. Let me introduce people you already know, but of course, Mr. Michael Carrillo is here, the Senior Area Manager who handles your accounts here, and as well as Terry Zima, the Senior Litigation Manager who handles everything that goes through here. My name is Stephen Salcedo. I'm an attorney and partner with Linebarger Goggin. And again, thank you for having us here today. Yes, Judge, as you have just noted, we have our annual top delinquent 200 taxpayers that's requesting your permission in order for us to publish them in the paper. If you grant us that permission today, then we'll go to the other entities as well, get their permission, and then that will appear in the Rockport Pilot. I think most likely on a Saturday. But if you have any questions, we'd be happy to try to answer. Thank you.
I have no questions, but I really want to compliment Terry Zima for her doggedness and persistence in trying to get people who are so far behind on their taxes to either pay them or to get them on the books as a tax sale. So I salute you all and especially Terry.
Thank you. Thank
All right, no further questions. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
you. Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 20.
I move to discuss and receive information from the public concerning any budget issues for the 2024 budget year and to schedule the 2024 budget public hearing for September 5th, 2023 at 9 a.m. or immediately following the tax rate public hearing, which will also be scheduled that day.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. We've already heard from 2 members of the community. Commissioners, you have anything to discuss?
Yes, I would like to recommend that we do away with the 2% COLA and that we implement the possibility of a one-step merit increase to the different departments to allow for recognition of merit and not just for showing up at work. We're glad you show up at work, but I don't think a COLA should be on the books for next year. We have been generous and maybe overly generous over the last 4 years at granting COLAs. And I think this coming year, we need to say no, but I would like to allow for a merit increase.
So there is another option. So a merit increase is an increase in our burdens, increase in everything. There's another option that I was exploring, and it's given employees a merit stipend. They're like $500 or $1,000 depending on their evaluation. And it won't add to their salary, but it would be a one-time stipend. So if they're a stellar performer, they get $1,000. We'll take care of the extra taxes. They'll get $1,000 cash. And it'll be in one check, so it won't be, if it's 2%, it's $1,000 added to their salary. They'll get, $20 paycheck. This will be a one-time deal. It doesn't add to the burdens or their or the basically the bottom line. I'll let y'all take that in, and we'll work out some numbers and see how much it would cost.
I think that probably sets a pretty good precedent for us to be able to give increases to those that need, that deserve the increase, not necessarily need it, but deserve the increase. I think we need to put some limitations on it, maybe can't do it 2 years in a row or something like that. But I think that's a good idea in the fact that should allow us to budget closer to what our needs are. I think if we're at the budget area, we pretty much know as a department head who has in that past year done exemplary or maybe got some additional education or something that would not necessarily merit a step increase, but would merit an increase of some sort. I think that's going to have to be watched real close, but I think that's a good alternative to not giving anything. And as far as the COLA goes, my opinion hasn't changed on that. According to the state and according to the nation, COLA right now is at 3.5%, I think is what I read today. And we're looking at what, 2%? Yeah,
That's
so
what
I want to
originally
stay
proposed.
there.
I'll wait to see your numbers.
All right.
I do think that's out of the box. I think it's thinking something other than what we normally look at with the stipend, no matter what it is or how it's earned or whatever. The commissioner's court should have a say so in the setup of it, not necessarily in the choice, but unless it's out of line. But anyway, I think that's a good idea to look at.
And
I think one thing, if employees are performing well, that's a separate issue from a COLA. And 2%, when we look at the expenses, their insurance is going up and different things going up. And what we pay a big percentage of our employees, I think probably right at, we have a portion of our employees that actually, when it's all said and done, their income level is really below the per capita for the community. And I just think we need to really consider keeping that COLA in there And if there's a performance issue, again, that's something that the department head needs to address. And, not get the two mixed.
Just want to let the commissioners know that I am still scrubbing the budget. Friday, I found about, I don't know, 100,000 more I took out, but then I saw some other items where I had to add, so I'm down to 74. So I'm taking some, adding some, but I'm still working on it.
Can we get a list of what your recommendations are?
Yeah, I
for
will.
the next
I will.
meeting?
Absolutely.
Well, the auditor's office has been giving us a list every time we get a revised budget, right? Which has been very helpful.
Yes, ma'am. And when we get the judges, we will make sure that we have another list.
One thing, and I did not bring my budget notebook with me this morning, but nobody else did either, so I'm glad. Tired of lugging it around. We talked with one of the department heads, and I'm not singling anyone out, but there was a request for an increase in the cell phone allowance. And I know that rates are very low for cell phones. I mean, I have two people on my cell phone line and I pay less than $80 a month for it. And that's unlimited text and phone calls and a tremendous amount of usage of gigabytes. And I just think if some of the departments are getting reimbursed a portion of their cell phone cost and their cell phone bill is more than $80 a month, there are other options out there and we need to look at that.
I want to say one more thing, and I'll probably get a lot of people upset when I say this. But we've had people come before the court concerned about animals. And we're adding to our budget for animals. And really taking care of the animals is not part of the county's responsibility when you get down to it. I mean, it's really important, and I appreciate the partnership with Another Chance. But if we can find money in our budget to fund the animal shelter, it seems like we could have money enough fund to take care of COLA for the employees. And speaking from my heart, that's all.
I had just a couple seconds on the animals.
Yeah. Your name and your
Wendy
address.
Laubach. I'm very sensitive to the notion that some of the taxpayers feel strongly about animal care and others more about public order, or some a mix. I wanted to let you know that we understood that the push to find some money to put some emergency outdoor kennels at the shelter to relieve overcrowding is not something that's necessarily popular with everyone. And although I would love it if the county could find some money to help with that, we also went out at the same time to the community looking for funds. And we've only been working on that for a few days now, about a week. We're looking for about $16,000 total for kennels. We've already got pledges or actual receipts now, I think I want to say $4,000. I'm here today because I brought in another $500 anonymous donation. So the community has really been responding strongly to that. I think that's an indication, not only that they believe it's a private obligation and not necessarily a county obligation, but a sense of your own taxpayers and citizens about what's important and what we should be doing to help.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wendy.
Thank you.
I would like to state, it's Misty Kimbrough, Aransas County Clerk, since you can't see me. Follow up with Commissioner Dupnick's information. All but three of my people that work for me are single people. A single person earning a mid-wage in this county cannot afford to live on their own in this county unless they already have a house paid for. It's not possible. We should be paying our people where they can at least live in this community. That's all.
And we do have right at 60% of our county employees do live within the county. It's just under 60, but it's over, I think, 55% of our employees do live in the county. And that's a bonus to us because they do spend their money back in the county and they're part of our community. So they have a lot more in there when they're, making decisions. I think they have more in it when they're part of the county.
So that was just discussion. We'll move on to item number 21. Or we don't vote on that, right? Okay. Got a motion for item number 21.
I move to approve the budget line item transfer for the 2023 budget.
Second.
We have none at this time.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 22.
Move to approve accounts payable, payroll and payroll liabilities.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, got a second.
We have none at this time.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. At this time, we'll hear reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads, and no action will be taken.
Commissioners and Judge, we had a pretty severe burn in precinct 1 over this weekend. Just a couple of things I'm going to say about that is, first of all, we without a doubt have the absolutely best volunteer fire department in the country, as far as I'm concerned. And it's not there because of an accident. It's not there because of the location. It's not there because of that they are funded. It's because of leadership and support of the community. I forgot how many, or I knew, but I forgot how many different organizations were at that fire. And that fire was almost a 24-hour fire. It was and how in the world it did it, but as last count that I heard, there were no structures lost. And this is a pretty widespread fire. And I think that as busy as we are with everything going on, I would like to see the Commissioners Court to invite the people that the departments that attended that fire and helped us in that fire be recognized by name. Bayside Volunteer Fire Department, Lamar Volunteer Fire Department, Refugio, and all the ones who are here. I think that Emily told me there was like 30 different departments, Parks and Wildlife, the Forest Service, Aransas County, Road and Bridge, just all those. And also, I would like for the court to consider giving time to look at some of the video that they have, so that the folks that might come would be able to see what they've done. They have, I think Emily told me that they have, like the last 4 or 5 years, they videoed all of the fires that they've had. So you kind of, I don't think we need to look at all of them, but like this last one, we've had some really major fires. And it's the number of structures that we've lost has just been minuscule. It's not very many at all. Of course, any structure loss is a loss, but because of the speed and because of the availability and because of the training, we have not lost as much as we possibly could have. I mean, they've kept them away from the subdivisions, and this last time they took all the brush trucks out and not one of them came back. They had to go get all of them. Every one of them was damaged in some way. I mean, we have some serious terrain out there, not up and down, not about, but you'll be driving around there at 10 or 15 miles an hour, which is pretty fast for a fire, and fall off in a hole. 2 years ago, we had one over off of, I think it was Johnson, and a truck run off in it. It was halfway down in that hole, and nobody knew the hole was there. So there's a lot of stuff that we need done out there. I know whenever Miss Laubach was county commissioner, they fought several fires out there in that community. And I know that all the commissioners have areas that we fought fires in, everything. But I mean, I was out there for 3 hours, and there's some people out there for 24 hours. And by the time 3 hours was over, I was whooped. But of course, I'm 74 years old too, and I wouldn't expect to be out there fighting fires. But we have some folks out there that's getting real close to that just love it. And I would really like the commissioners, after we get through budget and we kind of get our feet back on the ground, know where we are, I would like to invite all the area fire departments that were at least at this fire to come and introduce themselves, introduce the chiefs and maybe deputy chiefs, and just tell us, a little short about what they're doing. And maybe whenever we can put together a video that can kind of show out and showcase each one of them. But I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank everybody that was involved in it. I want to thank Road and Bridge was involved in it as much as they could, and Forest Service and game wardens and just innumerable. But I want to thank you personally.
All right, appreciate that. Anybody else? David, you got anything? No, L? All right, cool. We'll move on to reports about items of community interest. No action will be taken. Anybody in the community have anything? All right. Do we need, okay,
Closed session.
to have a motion for 23?
I move to convene into a closed session to consult with counsel and receive legal advice about insurance matters related to Aransas County's projects and insurance claims from Hurricane Harvey, including the following pending litigation: Aransas County, Texas versus Endurance American Specialty Insurance Company et al., Aransas County District Court cause number 23-0021, and North Star Recovery Service, Inc. versus Aransas County Independent School District and Aransas County District Court cause number 23-0066, consolidated with North Star Recovery Service, Inc. versus HR&R LLC et al., Aransas County District Court cause number 20-0159, and Aransas County versus Kathleen Hicks in her official capacity as Director of the Regional Pool Alliance, Aransas County District Court cause number 23-0069, pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meetings Act, which authorizes closed sessions for a governmental body to consult with its attorneys regarding advice on legal matters pertaining to pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer, or on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0, and we'll be in closed session, and let's get 7 minutes.
It's just. Oh, that's right. Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. In case the camera didn't catch it or the voice, that was a motion to reconvey into open session. And now do I have a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion? Got a second?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. All right. Thank you.